Have you ever assumed that certain spiritual teachings are not meant for you, that they belonged only to monks, mystics, or saints? Have you ever looked at a sacred scripture and thought, this is too high for someone like me? Welcome back to the channel. Truly honored that you're joining us again. Today, we're going to explore a powerful and often misunderstood truth about one of the most revered scriptures in Mahayana Buddhism, the Lotus Sutra. Many people believe that the Lotus Sutra is exclusively for Bodhisattvas, the four beings who have already advanced far along the spiritual path. But what if I told you that the truth is far more inclusive, more radical, and more empowering than that? What if I told you that the Lotus Sutra was written for you and not the future you who might one day be enlightened, but the you who sits here today, imperfect, searching, and sincerely open to truth? That's exactly what this scripture teaches, though not always in obvious ways. And by the time we're done with this journey today, I think you'll see yourself in its pages not as an outsider looking in, but as someone already on the path. The Lotus Sutra, or Isaitarma Sutra, has been called the crown jewel of Mahayana literature. Its teachings are vast, poetic, and deeply symbolic. At first glance, it seems to speak mostly of cosmic beings, ancient Buddhas, and fantastical realms. But beneath the surface lies something much more accessible, an unshakable affirmation of the infinite potential within every being. Yes, that includes you. Let's talk about why this sutra is often misunderstood. In many Buddhist traditions, there's a sense that only advanced practitioners, those who have taken Bodhisattvas, to have practiced for many lifetimes, who have deep realizations, can truly grasp the meaning of the Lotus Sutra. It uses elaborate imagery, sophisticated metaphors, and profound teachings that sometimes seem far removed from our ordinary lives. The sutra itself contradicts this view. In chapter after chapter, the Buddha makes it clear that this teaching is for all beings, and not just the wise, but the simple, and not just the disciplined, but even those who have strayed, not just the renunciants, but the householders, workers, farmers, and children. One of the most beautiful passages is when the Buddha says that anyone who hears even a single verse of this sutra with sincerity and faith is planting seeds for ultimate enlightenment. Imagine that. Even if you've never meditated, even if you don't know the Four Noble Truths, even if you still struggle with anger, jealousy, or confusion, your heart is enough. Your faith is enough. The Lotus Sutra tells stories of beings who attain awakening not because they were perfect, but because they listened deeply. Take the story of the dragon girl, for instance. She was only 8 years old. She wasn't a monk or a sage. She wasn't even human. She was a mythical creature, a female dragon, traditionally considered to be low on the spiritual hierarchy. And yet, through her deep faith and understanding, she attained Buddhahood in an instant. This story shocked even the Bodhisattvas, but the Buddha affirmed it. Because enlightenment isn't about form, it's about truth. And truth is available to everyone. Let me share a real-life story. A man I met had spent decades in spiritual circles, always believing he wasn't ready. He would say, I start reading the Lotus Sutra once I've purified my karma. He believed it was too sacred for him, that he had to earn the right to approach it. But one day, during a difficult period in his life, someone handed him a small book with selected verses from the sutra. He opened it at random, and the verse he read said, even a single word, heard with faith, creates the path to Buddhahood. He cried. He told me, all these years I thought I had to climb a mountain, but the path was always under my feet. That's the invitation of the Lotus Sutra. You don't have to wait. You don't have to qualify. You don't have to understand it all. You just have to listen with your whole heart. The truth is that every page of the Lotus Sutra is written with love for the wanderers, for the doubters, for the ones who think they're too broken, too late, too unworthy. And each time the Buddha speaks in this sutra, he is not speaking only to lofty beings. He's speaking to the aching human heart. To the mother worried about our children. To the young person lost in the noise of the world. To the elder facing illness and regret. To the everyday person who feels a silent call in their chest but doesn't know where it leads. The Lotus Sutra is not a pedestal, it's a mirror. It reflects the truth of who you already are. Doesn't say, one day you will be worthy. It says, you were never unworthy. And the more you read it, the more you see yourself not as the seeker, but as the one who has already arrived. Let me tell you about another story that moved me deeply. Woman who had been through immense trauma and abuse, abandonment, addiction, found a group that practiced the Lotus Sutra. He didn't know Sanskrit. He didn't know how to chant. He just sat and listened. Over time, she began to join in. He began to recite, not because she understood everything, but because it made her feel whole. Years later, she became a teacher not of doctrine, but of compassion. He said, the sutra didn't change my mind, it changed my heart. That is its power. It doesn't demand that you be spiritual, it simply invites you to remember that you already are. So no, the Lotus Sutra is not only for Bodhisattvas, it is for every being who suffers, who hopes, who longs for truth. Is for you. And if you approach it not with intellect, but with humility, it will meet you where you are. And from there, it will take you home. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this message reminded you of your own inner worth, or if the Lotus Sutra has ever touched your life, please share your story in the comments. You never know who might be waiting for a word of encouragement that only you can give. And as always, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a member to help us continue spreading the light of the Dharma to hearts around the world. Until we meet again, may you walk with courage, listen with faith, and awaken to the truth that has always lived within you.